Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Now, first off, here's a story we tried to tell you about earlier. A DAV chapter in Floyd County now has a little extra to worry about as they prepare for the days ahead. WYNT's Buddy Forbes has more about an ongoing investigation involving theft in Floyd County.
Disabled American veterans donate their time to honor those who served.
Our best thing we do, we think, is the military funerals.
But someone made that mission harder for Chapter 128 in Floyd County.
When you got a van to haul your stuff, it makes it pretty rough.
Thieves cut the catalytic converter from the DAV's transport van.
And it's a shame that they'd do that.
Ultimately cutting into the limited outreach funds of the organization.
They operate solely on donations.
Those donations often come with a lot of work.
We have to go out on them roadblocks like that, stand out there and maybe raining or hot, and take that money up.
And now the DAV is out $2,000 to fix the van.
We got a big lot of stuff for next week, and we're hoping we get that van back running because we've got to haul a lot of stuff.
And hoping for the community's help in identifying whoever damaged the vehicle.
If anybody has any information, they can call the sheriff tip line or call the sheriff's office.
As they move forward,
for a soldier, that's his last ride. That's the last thing you can do for him.
With their mission of honoring veterans. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYNT Mountain News.
Now, anyone with information can call the tip line at 606-949-2020. Well, a nurse who tampered with narcotic pain relievers will spend 2 years in jail. Kelsey Spencer pled guilty back in April. Spencer will serve 85% of her prison sentence after she is released. She will be under the supervision of the U.S. Probation Office for 3 years. Well, multiple law enforcement groups are working on a mass arrest throughout Wise County, focusing in on 65 people. The 65 were recently indicted, all in correlation with illegal drug activity. In total, 125 separate drug charges resulted in the operation. Nearly 100 of those involved the distribution, manufacturing, and possession of methamphetamine. Buprenorphine, a prescription drug, was involved in 38 of those cases.
It was a soggy and nasty day here in the mountains, seeing a little bit of a break now, but more rain's expected as we head into tomorrow. As we go ahead and take you to that almanac, reached a high of 62 at Jackson Day, not too far from that average of 64 and that low 55 this morning. A little bit on the warmer side, but there's those soggy conditions that we've seen really throughout the day now, dealing with those scattered rain chances here in the mountains. Pinpoint Doppler, a lot of us a little bit on the drier side and getting a much needed break from those widespread rain chances. Temperatures remaining into the low to mid 60s. Honestly, not going to see these temperatures move that much as we head into the overnight hours with that cloud cover in place, but we could see that patchy dense fog late tonight. You could see that over into the visibility that we are seeing that start to go down. If you're looking out into parts of central and western Kentucky, we're looking okay right now, but definitely going to see that visibility be an issue tonight. And then soggy conditions continue as we head into your Halloween. Cold air arrives after that, and then sunshine returns for the weekend. I'll have all those details coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. Well, besides Halloween, we are now less than 6 days away from the election. Eastern Kentucky is seeing a number of visitors leading up to Tuesday. Today, Attorney General and Democratic challenger Andy Beshear, along with others, stopped in Hazard to stump for their campaigns, talking about turning the Commonwealth around. The group says this is about more than just Democrats versus Republicans.
We've got to bring new hope and opportunity. Andy Beshear is committed to do that. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm encouraging people to go to the ballot box on November the 5th and vote.
Beshear says that this is a critical election for Eastern Kentucky. The Democrats also stopped in London today. Well, two recent announcements in Floyd County mean hundreds of jobs for the region. 200 jobs are on the horizon for the recently announced Southeast State Correctional Complex in Wheelwright. And this week, Teleworks USA partnered with Floyd County to announce 300 work-at-home jobs. More than 900 applications have already come in for the prison openings. A job fair will be held for the Teleworks jobs in the Floyd County Fiscal Courtroom coming up on November 13th. And Goodwill hosted a ribbon cutting in downtown Pikeville today for its 5th Center for Education and Employment. The center, funded by the sales from Goodwill thrift stores, is a career coaching program that offers soft skills and aims at increasing employment numbers in Kentucky. Career coaches work at the hub to connect local job seekers with job opportunities. COO Rena Sharp says there is a misconception that anyone who is employed in today's workforce has chosen not to work.
And we know that that's not true. We serve thousands and thousands of individuals through our services every day throughout Kentucky. And what we know is there's many people that are not working because they can't get a job. And many times that's because of barriers in their background.
The center is located in the Uniplex building on Trivet Drive. Classes begin next Thursday. Well, state officials hosted a conversation about senior hunger issues earlier today in Frankfort, hoping to make some changes to a system that leaves many without food. WKYT's Chelsea Jones has that story.
How many of us said?
It's a problem that often goes unnoticed. The number of senior citizens living without enough to eat.
Unfortunately, in Kentucky, 1 in 6 seniors does not have access to affordable, nutritious food.
Perhaps the first step to solving this problem is connecting seniors with the resources available. That's why leaders met in Frankfort for the first ever Senior Hunger Summit.
We have a great social services and nonprofit network. What we're not doing is communicating. If this church has a food pantry, well, how can we get that food pantry connected with this senior center?
Department for Aging and Independent Living Commissioner Shannon Gadd says so many seniors rely entirely on Social Security, which hasn't kept up with the cost of living.
And you're talking around $700 a month to pay for rent, to pay for prescriptions, medical care.
Leaving very little money for food.
I wasn't able to cook.
Living with a grandchild is actually a risk factor for hunger, and in my opinion, that just shouldn't be.
Restaurant owners, farmers, business leaders, and legislators sat in the audience listening to ways they can be a part of the solution. But Gadd says you can help too.
Look at your landscape in your community. What food banks do you have? What social services do you have?
She says senior centers often need help with food donations and preparing meals. In Frankfort, Chelsea Jones, WKYT.
Now, this summit is the first of its kind in the Commonwealth. The Department of Aging and Independent Living hopes to connect community partners in order to address the issues of hunger and food security. Well, 100 years ago today, more than 200 African Americans were forcibly removed from the city of Corbin. Since then, a stigma of racism has lingered over that part of the area. The Sun Up Initiative, a community organization that has conversations about race, is holding its October 30th, 1919 exhibit. The exhibit includes firsthand accounts about why these people were run out of town over not enough railroad jobs. They hope to change the stigma around Corbin by opening up the conversation with the community.
I want to live in a community, and if I have a family someday, I want my children to live in a community that is diverse and has a wide-ranging view of opinions and cultures.
Using a moment in history to show that Corbin is not what it used to be and is only moving forward from here. The exhibit was a part of the Welcome Week of Diversity. Well, it's a big night in Whitley County for Elaine Stott. Across the nation, people have become drawn to her on season 39 of Survivor Island of the Idols. Last week, a tribe swap sent her to the other side, but a dominant performance in the reward and immunity challenge brought her group together. In this week's episode, called Suck It Up, Buttercup, Elaine narrowly avoided elimination in a 4-3 vote. In dramatic fashion, after playing her block a vote advantage, Jason was sent home. Well, Dewan Malzim was sentenced earlier today in Lexington. A jury found him guilty in the 2014 murder and robbery of Marine Jonathan Price. The jury spent Wednesday listening to members of the family of the now convicted murderer, the murderer only speaking up once, directing his emotions to his niece. Prosecutors ended their weeks-long arguments with a jury painting a picture of what Price's family has been through over the past 5 years.
Price family feel. They can't call Jonathan on the phone. They can't email him. They can't go visit him except in a graveyard.
3 hours later the jury returned from deliberations and handed down their recommendation. The jury fixing the defendant's punishment as confinement in the penitentiary with life without parole. Well, coming up, California continues to be ravaged by intense wildfires, one of which almost made its way to a presidential library. We will have those details coming up. And the latest news from the ongoing House impeachment hearings against President Trump. Find out who testified in just a few.
And rainy and windy conditions continue into your Halloween as that cold front moves through. We'll break down that soggy forecast coming up.